if you are comparing this cache memory with the RAM, then cache memory will be speed or it will be faster than the RAM. But when the L3 is comparing with the L1 and L2, then it will be small or it will be low in the speed of processing. If I have the features in another class which is already exists, then no need to write the same code again and again. So I can simply reuse the existing code. If a business is taking place over the internet or over the online, then that will be termed as e-commerce. Everybody, welcome back to the session 2 on model question paper discussion, which is of the year 2021-22 and it is given by Karnataka Pre-University Educational Board. I am Rohini TS, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In the today's session, we will be discussing about the part C, that is for 3-mark questions. So we'll see about the part C questions. So as we all discussed as per the blueprint, and we got to know that in the part C there will be 10 questions. Out of that 10 questions, you have to answer any 5. So that you are going to get 3 into 5, that will be for 15 marks. So you can see that answer any 5 questions and each question carries 3 marks. We'll see the first question. Question number 26. What is cache memory? Explain its types. So when you are answering these kind of questions, what are the things you are supposed to analyze? So as I told you earlier, here what is cache memory? So this question carries 3 marks. So in that, what is this cache memory will going to carry 1 mark, then explain its types and that will be for 2 marks. So don't get confused regarding the types. So types is nothing but its levels. So when we are working with this cache memory, there also we have 3 types of levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3 cache memory. That is nothing but its types itself. So then what is this cache memory is all about? So cache memory is a very high speed memory which is placed in between RAM and CPU. So as we all know that cache memories act like, or it will be used as a very high speed memory, and where it has been placed between RAM and CPU, and it is very expensive but is smaller in size. So in size in the terms of what? Its storage capacity. So this cache memory is used or will going to act as a high speed, which is mainly in order to improve the processing of data. For that purpose, we are going to use this cache memory. So cache memory stores data that is used more often. For example, so when you are using your mobile or when you are using your any of the electronic devices, at that time we are simply used to press home button. But in the background, all the applications will going to be run. So at that time when we are using any of the applications or software, most often that kind of applications or software will going to be stored in the cache memory. So whatever we have the data in the cache memory, then it is easily available for the processing. That is what the reason we are going to have this cache memory. It will going to store the data temporarily and which is needed for the execution or which is needed for immediate or instant processing by the computer system or by the CPU at that time, or at that kind of data and information will be stored in this cache memory. So and it will going to make it available to the CPU at fast rate. So when the data is given to the CPU with a high speed, then the processing will also be very speed. So you can expect high speed of data processing that will going to happen with the help of this cache memory. That is what the reason it will going to increase the speed of processing. This is how cache memory will going to help out in order to improve the efficiency of a data processing, and it also going to improve the speed of a processing. And it is very expensive in nature, but it is smaller in size. So size is nothing but its memory capacity, like how much data it will going to hold. That will be based on the types. You can see that cache memory sizes varies from 256 KB up to 2 MB. Like whatever the data and information which is required immediately for the processing, only that small amount of data will going to be stored in this cache memory. Then what are its types? So if you write the definition of a cache memory, you are going to get 1 marks. For remaining 2 marks, you have to write its types. So types are nothing but its levels. So it has 3 levels. Level 1 cache memory, level 2 and level 3. So level 3 is nothing but it is we're going to have a control over L1 and L2. So what is this L1 or a level 1 cache memory? It is extremely fast but relatively smaller in size. So though it is fast, it will be smaller in size. So when we have less data in the memory, the speed of processing will be very high. Same thing will going to happen with this cache memory also. So in the level 1 cache memory, it will be very fast, but it will be in smaller in size, and usually it present inside the CPU. What is the location where it is located in the CPU? It will be inside the CPU. And what is its size? So it will varies from 32 KB up to 512 KB. It has a capability to hold the data which is of 32 KB up to 512 KB. So this is regarding what? Level 1. What about this level 2 or L2 cache memory? So it may be located outside the CPU. Where it is located? It is located outside the CPU. Then what is its size? So it varies from 1 MB to 2 MB. So when you are writing the types of a cache memory, at that time you mention its level L1, L2 and L3. So L1 will be inside the CPU and its size is from 32 KB to 512 KB. Consider those two as a 2 points. This will be 1 point, this will be another point. So when you come to the L2 or a level 2 cache memory, there also you mention where it is located and what is its size, how it is connected to the CPU. So that is what you can write as a another point. So this will help you out in order to carry or in order to score 2 marks. Then level 3. So this it is a specialized kind of memory that works to improve the performance of L1 and L2. This L3 will going to help in order to improve the efficiency or working capability of the L1 and L2. This L3 has a control over L1 and L2, but it will be slower than the L1 or L2, but it usually double the speed of RAM. So if you are comparing this cache memory with the RAM, then cache memory will be speed or it will be faster than the RAM. But when the L3 is comparing with the L1 and L2, then it will be small or it will be low in the speed of processing, because it will going to have a control over L1 and L2. Then it will take more time than that L1 and L2. And here you can see the image how it is located, where L1 is located, where L2 is located, and how the memory and disk, whatever the data is in the disk is copied to memory, how the instant information which is required for the processing, how it is take place can be depicted with this diagrammatic representation of a cache memory. So if you wrote like this, surely you are going to get 3 marks. We'll see the next question. Question number 27. Write the truth table and standard symbol for NOR gate. What is this? NOR gate. We have to write a truth table and a standard symbol. So for truth table, you are going to get 1.5 marks. For standard symbol, you are going to get 1.5 marks. Or else it can be either distributed as 2 marks and 1 mark. Okay. So here, what is this NOR gate is all about? When I have a combination of OR gate plus NOT gate, then it will going to be NOR gate. So how we are going to write OR gate? So if you see here, this will be the OR gate, right? So what is it consist of? It has A and B. So A and B are the inputs, and what it will going to returns. So OR is nothing but addition, A plus B. So if I am going to put one inverter here, then it will going to be NOR gate. Then I am going to write A plus B bar or complement. This is how NOR gate will going to be depicted. So we have a OR gate. Along with that, I am going to use one inverter, that is NOT gate. Then that will going to lead NOR gate. So you can write its symbol along with the truth table. Okay, you can consider either 2 input valued symbol and truth table, and you can also consider 3 input NOR gate along with its symbol and then truth table. What is the symbol exactly? I'm taking two values called x and y, then the final answer will be x plus y because this is OR gate. Then if I put NOT gate to it, that is if I put inverter to it, then it will be complemented. Then it will going to be what? NOR gate. So if you consider this one, already you know the truth table for OR gate. What it is? Let me consider x, y, x plus y, right? So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So this is regarding two input OR gate, right? This is x plus y, that means addition. 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 0, carry 1, okay. So this is what the values that we are going to get for x plus y. What if I inverted x plus y bar? All the 0 will going to be 1 and all the 1 will going to be 0. So here 0 will become 1, 1 will become 0, 1 will become 0 and here 0 will become 1. So this is how truth table of this two input valued NOR gate will going to be look like. So here you can see the logical symbol of this NOR gate, which is of the two input. Here I am going to take two input OR gate, and if we put what NOT gate or inverter, then it will be NOR gate. A plus B, then it will be A plus B complement. So same way we can do with the 3 input NOR gate also. For that what we are going to consider x, y, z. We are going to take 3 input, and if I put inverter to it, then it will be x plus y plus z whole bar. So here x, y, z are the input. This is NOR gate. This is a 3 input NOR gate logical symbol, and this is truth values. So here 1 plus 1, 0, 0 plus 1, 1. So if it is 1, then it will be inverted to 0. So 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0. And if it is output as x plus y plus z, it will be 0 and that is inverted to 1. Okay, this is the truth table along with the logical symbol. In this way, you have to write the solution for these kind of question. Let me move to the next question, that is question number 28. What is an array? Mention two types of array. Mention any two types of array. So, for this also, what is an array will going to carry is 1 mark, and mention any two types will going to carry is 2 marks. So, they are simply asking to mention. You no need to explain, you no need to write any of the brief discussion about any of the type of an array. So, if you are writing its definition of an array, that will be for 1 mark. If you are mentioning its type, that will be for 2 marks. So, what is an array here? As we all know that array is nothing but it is a collection of homogeneous elements. So, all the elements will going to have a same name. So, that belongs to a same category. So, here also an array is an ordered collection of elements of same data type. So, we have to carry, or this array has to group similar kinds of element which is of the same kind of data type. Then only I can call that as an array, because array will not going to handle heterogeneous data, or it will not going to handle different kinds of data. It will deals only with the similar kinds of data having the same data type. So, that array is an ordered collection of element of the same data type which shares a common name. For example, if I have 10 elements of an array, all array name will going to be same. All the 10 elements of an array will going to have comes under a same name, but everything will going to have its different quality, but that is of the same data type. Then that collection of ordered collection of element will be termed as an array. Then how we are going to access this array? With the help of subscript. That is what the reason we can also call this array as a subscripted values. Then what is the next question? Mention any two types of array. So, if you consider what are the types of array we have a one-dimensional array, we have a two-dimensional array, and we have a three-dimensional array. Isn't it? Wrong, no? We have only one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array. Any array with more than two-dimensional will be termed as multi-dimensional array. So, you should not write three-dimensional array. It has only one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and more than two-dimension will be termed as multi-dimensional array. That can be any number of dimensions. So what are the types of arrays we have? We have a one-dimensional array. I can consider this as a 1D, and we have a two-dimensional array. I can consider this as a 2D, and we have a multi-dimensional array. It will be in the terms of n cross n. Okay. What's the answer that you have to write for this question? We'll see the question number 29. Give any 3 advantages of inheritance. So before answering this question, you have to analyze what is inheritance is all about. As we all know that inheritance is nothing but it is the capacity of one class to inherit the features of another class. So when one class is inheriting the features from another class, then we are going to call that scenario as an inheritance. Then what are the uses we are going to have over the inheritance? What are the advantages it can give while doing the programming? We'll see now. The main advantages of inheritance are, so they have asked only mention in order to give any 3 advantages. So when you are getting a question like give, mention or write an example, at that time no need to describe it anything. If they are simply asking mention, you just mention, no need to write the explanation for that. Okay, but if they are asking you to brief out or write a note on, at that time you have to brief out as per the marks distribution. So here, what are the advantages we have in the inheritance? What is the first advantage? Reusing existing code. So how it will be considered as an advantage? Because inheritance is the capability of inheriting the feature. If I have the features in another class which is already exist, then no need to write the same code again and again. So I can simply reuse the existing code. That is the advantage of this inheritance. So it will be reusing existing code. Then faster development time. For example, when you are developing any of the applications or a software, if some modules are already built, already tested, already debugged, everything has been done, then what is the need of doing it again from the scratch? Then it will be waste of time, energy and all the resources. So in order to minimize that, we are going to have this inheritance concept. So faster development time in the sense what? If we have a existing code or if we have a existing data, that can be used in order to do the software or in order to create any of the application. That is also considered as what? One of the advantage of this inheritance. So remember, reusing existing code and faster development time. Then easy to maintain. Everything is considered as a class and object. Everything will be grouped separately and can be used, can be maintained. If it is it will be easy for the testing, debugging. If you wanted to do anything with that data which will be of classes and object, everything is like a bundle. So no need to worry about the maintenance. So it will be easy for the maintenance and easy to extend. For example, already I have a 5 classes, then I just wanted to create one more class, that is new class. So I can easily add that content or I can add that new class or an object into the existing code very easily. So then that will be one of the advantage which comes under inheritance, which is easy to extend. And proper memory utilization. If you are using a data which is already exists, then no need to have a separate memory location for the new data. No need to do it again from a scratch. Everything will going to be maintained in an efficient manner. Okay, so these are the advantages which comes under inheritance. Easy to extend, easy to maintain, proper memory utilization and faster development time, and then reusing of existing code. So out of this, you can write any 3 for this answer. We'll see the next question, that is question number 30. What is that? Explain different operations performed on pointer. So there will be a chances of getting a question from pointer, do's and don'ts. So if it is do's, then you have to consider the operation which can be performed on pointer. So if they are asking you the don'ts, then the operation which cannot be performed on the pointer. So just be conscious while you are reading a question. So what is the question here? Explain different operation performed on the pointer. What are the different operations I can perform by making use of this pointer. Here I have listed out several operations which can be performed on a pointer. Out of this you have to write any 3, but they have not mentioned any 3. So to be in the safer side, it is very good to write all the points, because here they are not asking you to mention or to write only 3. They are asking you to explain different operation performed on a pointer. So it is well and good to write all the points here. So we can add integer value to a pointer. Remember, I am not adding a pointer to pointer. I am adding an integer value to the pointer. That is the first operation. We can subtract an integer value from a pointer. I can subtract an integer value from a pointer. Pointer will be there and I have one more integer value. I am subtracting that integer value from this pointer. So we can add an integer value to the pointer and we can subtract an integer value from the pointer. Next, we can compare two pointers if they point the elements of the same array. I can make a comparison like whether which is greater, which is larger, smaller, lesser than, equal to. I can do the relational operation only the elements are pointing to the same array. So if you are comparing any of the two pointers, all the elements must be belongs to the same array, then I can do the comparison of the two pointers. So remember, adding of an integer value to the pointer, subtracting an integer value from the pointer, then comparison of two pointer. What is the next operation? We can subtract one pointer from another pointer. So here I have subtracted the integer value from the pointer and I can also subtract one pointer from another pointer only when the elements point to the same array. So if the elements or if both the pointers are pointing to the same array, then only it will be possible. If one pointer is belongs to one array category, if another pointer is belongs to another array category, then we can't make the subtraction. So subtraction of two pointer, like subtraction of one pointer from another pointer can be happened only the both the elements or both the pointer are pointing to the same array. Next, we can assign one pointer to another pointer, which is provided both are of the same type. If one pointer is integer type, another pointer is character type, I cannot make a assignment. But if both are having the same data type, then I can assign, like this value will be assigned to this pointer. One pointer can be assigned to another pointer if both are having the same data type. Okay, so these are the operations which is possible in order to perform with a pointer. I hope it will be very useful for you in order to write the answer. We'll see the question number 31. What is this? Mention and explain any three modes of opening a file in C++. So as we all know that we have a text file, we have a binary file. So what are the methods we are going to use? I can use open member function or I can use constructor. But when you are answering this question, you have to remember or you have to analyze what is the situation or what where the situation will be, how the situations will be when I am supposed to use constructor or when I am supposed to use open member function. So let me tell you, when I wanted to open only a single file, then we can go with constructor. But if I wanted to have or if I wanted to open more than one file, then we have to use a open member function. When we are having that open member function, at the time it may consist of these many options. Out of these options, so you have to explain any three. So here I have several parameter which is also belongs to input output stream. So out of this you have to mention any three, then you can explain any three also. So here iOS app, that is append to the end of a file at the opening time. Then we have a IN, which is open file for reading only, and here iOS out. So remember, all these are the member function here because we have a scope resolution operator. We are defining the member function outside the class definition. These iOS are the class. So we are sending this as a parameter. So within that parameter, I can have either append, in, out, ATE, that is open file for updating and move the file pointer to the end of a file. For example, you consider this as a file. Okay, so when the file is open, at the time I'm opening that file for the purpose of updating. When the updation or modification is done, at that time it has to move the file pointer to the end of a file. Okay, so this is regarding ATE. Next we have a trunk there. On opening, delete the content of a file. When the file is opened, at the time whatever the content is there needs to be deleted. Means we are looking forward to the new file which does not contain any content. Next, no create, turn down opening if the file does not exist. So, what we are supposed to do? So, when we are having this no create parameter, at that time it should not open the file which does not exist. Then we have a no replace, turn down opening if the file already exists. So, if I am searching for a file which is named like ABC, if that exists, it needs to be open. Then binary, opening a binary file. We have a text file and binary file. If I wanted to use a binary file or if I wanted to open a binary file, then we have to send this parameter. So these are the file method mode we can have in order to open a file. So here you can see that we can use a constructor or we can use a open member function. So when we are having a open member function, at the time you have to mention this syntax, stream object dot open. For example, whether you are dealing with the input object or a output object, and we have to write the name of a file and what kind of mode. That mode can be any one of these three. Okay, so you can write any of the file modes. So these are the things you have to write the solution for this asked question. We'll see the next question, that is question number 32. Explain any three data types used in SQL. So when we are dealing with the data types, that specifies the type of data that like elements are holding. So here we have listed out several data types which comes under the category of SQL. So we have a data type called number, we have a char, we have a varchar2, then date, time, long, raw, and we have a long, raw. So you just mention, after that, out of this you can select any three and you can explain in a brief manner. So here I have taken number. So number is also one of the data type which is using in a SQL. So when this comes to the number, it will going to store numeric value in a field column. So if I wanted to have numeric value for my element, then I have to mention its data type as a number. So what is the syntax? Number of n comma d. So here I have a two parameter, one is n, another one is d. So what is this n represent? That n represent the number of digits and d represent number of the digit after the decimal point. For example, if you are taking this number in order to represent the salary, if my value is 12,000.0012. So at the time what we are supposed to mention? Number of digit. For example, if I am taking number of 2, 3, then it will going to hold only two integer value like 19, and if it is 3, then d value will be 3. So I can have only 9.333 like this. For example, I am saying, so after this decimal point, how many values it can hold? After this decimal point to the right of that, how many numbers it will going to hold? That represents the d. Same way, we can take the another data type called char. So it is used to store character type of data in a column. What is the syntax for that? Char of size. So we have to mention its size. So here size represents the maximum, that is 255 character can be takes place as a number of characters in a column. For example, char of 15, it has the ability to hold up to 15 character. That does not mean that exactly you have to take all the 15 character. So this is the ultimate size or this is the maximum size. Up to that size you can take the characters. Next we have a varchar or varchar2. When I wanted to have both numbers and alphabets together, then I have to use a data type called varchar. So this varchar stores a variable length alphanumeric data. Here also we are going to use varchar of size or varchar2 of size. So this will be the syntax along with a example, and I have one more data type called date. So if you wanted to store date, then we have to use a data type called date. So this will going to have more than one kind of formats. The standard format of date is DD, MM and YY. So that is, we have to specify what is its date. So it will be of 2 character, then we have to specify month. So for example, here they are not giving MM, that is MON. You have to write 3 characters of a month. For example, if I wanted to take 18 December, then year 2022. So this is what the way we have to write. I can't take it like 18, 12, 2022. I have to specify 3 characters of a month. Then only it will be possible to hold the value. Okay. So this is how you have to write the solution for this question. You can explain any kind of data type which we are going to have in this data types of a SQL. We'll see the next question, that is question number 33. What is LAN? Explain. What is LAN carries 1 mark. For explanation, it will be of 2 marks. So now we'll see the definition of this LAN. What is LAN then? Privately owned small network that are confined to a localized area. So that can be in the terms of office, building or a factory, are called as local area network. In short, we will be calling this as a LAN. So when I wanted to have a network which is limited to a particular area, for example, that will be limited only to a particular building, or it is related to particular office or a factory, then we are going to call that kind of privately owned small network as a LAN. Then what is the use of having this LAN? Mainly in order to serve the purpose of resource sharing, we are going to use this LAN. So it will going to help in order to have a resource sharing. This hardware resource sharing can be either related to hardware as well as the software. For example, you can consider we can share a data, information, programs, we can share a printer, hard disk, modems only with the help of this LANs. This will going to access what? It will going to connect, or it will going to have an interconnection between the different hardware, software. Then the communication will going to take place. The resource will going to be shared. Then it will going to improve the efficiency of a system. It will be fast with a speed from 10 Mbps up to 10 Gbps. That is megabits per second, 10 megabits per second up to 10 Gbps, gigabits per second. So this is how this LAN will going to be configured. Definition of LAN, and it is mainly used for the purpose of resource sharing. Resources can be either hardware or software. By making use of this LAN, we can share information, data, printers can be shared and programs can be shared, and hard disks, memory and its modems, it can be shared, and its speed will be 10 Mbps to 10 Gbps. And here LAN consists of what? 3 modules. That is what? It has a file server, it has a workstation and it has a cable. So if you explain all these points, then there will be no doubt of getting 3 marks. We'll see the next question. Mention any 3 services or technologies of e-commerce. No need to explain, no need to brief out the technology or services of e-commerce. So as we all know that if a business is taking place over the internet or over the online, then that will be termed as e-commerce. That is buying and selling of goods and services which is taking place with the help of internet. They are just asking you to mention any 3 services or technologies of e-commerce. Here we have listed out so many services or technologies which comes under e-commerce. Out of this you can write any 3. We'll see the first one, that is electronic funds transfer. In short, we will be calling this as EFT. Then we have a electronic benefits transfer, in short EBT, and we have email, digital cash, that is DC, all the Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, everything comes under this digital cash. Then we have a bulletin boards, then electronic banking, that is in short termed as EB. Then electronic data interchange, EDI. then barcoding -2D, that is two-dimensional barcoding, imaging, voice recognition. All these are the services or technologies which comes under e-commerce. Along with that, we have a security services like firewalls, encryption, and we have a gateway. Okay, so these many services and technologies we have under the e-commerce category. Out of this, you can write any three. So it is easy to remember: digital cash, bulletin boards. So it is easy to remember: firewalls, encryption, voice recognition, and email, EDC, and we have a electronic benefits transfer, electronic fund transfer. Out of this, you can write any three. We'll see the last question of part C, that is question number 35. What is web hosting? Mention any two web hosting methods. So here how the marks distribution will be. You can see that web hosting, what is the definition of web hosting, will going to be for 1 mark, and if you are mentioning any two types of web hosting methods, then that will be for 2 marks. So here then we'll see the definition of web hosting. What is the web hosting? As we all know that we have a server and we have a client. That means it will going to provide a content or a data which is required by the client. So client is the one who is seeking for the help, or one who is seeking the data and information from the server. Server will going to provide the service. Clients will going to fetch that service or will going to access that service. Then what is the need of having this web hosting? So web hosting means of hosting web server application on the computer system through which electronic content on the internet is readily available to any web browser client. Consider you are a client and you are searching for something. At that time, you need to open any of the server application. Then that definitions is nothing but web hosting. Okay, so it is hosting of web server application on a computer. So you can take the example of Google Chrome. So you wanted to search something over the Google Chrome. At that time, you are opening that or you are hosting that web server applications on your computer system with the help of what? Which will going to have the electronic content on the internet, which is readily available to give, or it is readily available to any web browser client. So if you are clicking on the Google Chrome and if you are searching something, at that time all the electronic content or all the documents which is already ready in order to serve the purpose of the web browser client. And if you are opening that application or a web server application, that method is nothing but web hosting. Then what are the methods we have in order to do this web hosting? It has 4 types. Out of this, you can mention any 2. So what are the types of web hosting we have? Free hosting, virtual or shared hosting, dedicated hosting, and we have a co-location hosting. So out of this, if you have mentioned any 2 types of web hosting services, then surely you are going to get 2 marks for the next question after this web hosting. So write the definition and mention any 2 types of web hosting. But when you are writing the various types or when we are mentioning, so it will be to be in the safer side, you need to mention more than the point what they are asking for. For example, if they ask you to mention only 2, then try to write 3. So that will going to fetch you complete marks. So if you are done with any of the mistake regarding your grammar and all, then another point will going to help you out in order to score more. It's all about part C part. So I hope you all enjoyed this session and it is very informative in order to score high score in the second PUC's computer science examination. So we are done with the part C. Let me meet you in the next session. In the next session, I will be doing the part D, that is, we're going to carry 5 mark questions. So out of 14 questions, you have to answer any 7. So in my next session, I will be discussing about the part D. Let me meet you in the next session. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.